Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will get underway, and if anyone else joins us a little later, they will be able to watch the recording. As I said, thanks everyone for jumping in tonight for our AFL season setup webinar. I am Danny from PlayHQ and I'll be taking you through tonight's session. We are really excited to be working with you all again for season 2023, even though I can't quite believe we are talking about season 2023 just quite yet, but here we are. And I hope tonight we can give you all the tools needed to get yourself set up to start taking registrations. I want to begin tonight by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are meeting and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are on the meeting here tonight. As an overview, here is what we will be covering off tonight, and I promise I will do my very best to get you out of here in under 30 minutes tonight so you can get back to your Tuesday nights. To start off, I want to run through some new features that we have been working on over the last couple of months. We spent a lot of 2022, so the first year on PlayHQ, listening to your feedback. And now we have some new features that we're really excited to share with you for your upcoming 2023 season. I'll then dive into the different ways you can make the most out of PlayHQ for your upcoming season. I'll give you some examples of how you can set up your registration form and how you can even sell your club's merchandise if that is something that your club wants to do for next season. To finish tonight's session, I will play a pre-recorded video which will demonstrate how you can get your registration form set up and ready to start taking registrations for 2023. If you have any questions throughout tonight's session, please feel free to put them into the chat and I will answer them as we go along tonight, or we've also got time allocated at the end for any additional questions that I don't get time to answer throughout the session. As you will all notice, tonight's session is being recorded, so I will send this around to everyone tomorrow, so if you miss anything, you'll be able to watch it back again. Okay, let's get into things. So as we all know, 2022 was a really big year for all of community football and all of you administrators here on the line tonight as we rolled out PlayHQ. We understand how much time volunteers put into their local footy clubs, and we really want PlayHQ to be a system that makes your life easier. This is why we spent a lot of 2022 collating and listening to feedback from clubs who were using PlayHQ week in, week out. And I'm sure a lot of that feedback also came direct from a few of you here on the call tonight. We really wanted to make improvements so that season 2023 would be really smooth sailing for you all. As a bit of an example, here are just a few of the types of feedback that we heard throughout 2022. As you can see, the feedback was really consistent from clubs. So we saw lots of feedback about leading goal kickers, team lineups, and also the PlayHQ reports. So as I said, our team have been really busy over the last couple of months working on enhancing these areas of PlayHQ. And I'm really excited to share a few new features with you tonight, which will make your life a little bit easier. When you first log back into PlayHQ for the first time, I hope you have all enjoyed a little bit of a break. But when you first log back in, you will notice lots of new features and upgrades in PlayHQ. But I wanted to just make note of 4 of new features in particular tonight. The first feature, which we're really excited about, is leading goal kickers. The goal kicker leaderboard is available on the PlayHQ public site, and this was released midway through the 2022 season. We know that this was a really welcomed enhancement for clubs and players, as we saw a huge spike in online traffic the day that we released this feature, with people jumping on to view their goal kicking stats. Further to this, clubs will also soon be able to run a report to download these leaderboards into an Excel document. You'll be able to find this report very soon in the report section of PlayHQ. The second report, which we are really excited about and the team are continuing to work on at the moment, is a career milestone report. This report's still a couple of weeks away, but it will be available to all clubs by season start next year. At the moment, you can go in and run a milestone report and it'll give you total games played for a player at your club. But what we're continuing to work on is the ability to run that report and see how many games the player has played in each team at your club. So we know this is really important if you're trying to differentiate between junior and senior games at your club. But you'll have access to this by the start of next season, which we're really excited about. Throughout the season, make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the report section in PlayHQ, as we will continue to enhance and upgrade the reports available to clubs. The next feature is something I know all game day administrators will be very excited to hear about, and that is the team lineup rollover. This feature allows clubs to select the same team as last week when selecting the team lineup. This feature eliminates the need to go through and select all 22 players every week, and with the click of a button, you can select all the players from the previous week, which we know the game day administrators were crying out for in season 2022. For any of you on the line here tonight who were lucky enough to play finals, you may have already noticed this feature, as we did release it just in time for finals this year. The final feature I wanted to make mention of tonight is fee variance, and we will talk about fee variance quite a little bit tonight. But fee variance allows clubs to set up different fee categories within their registration form. This allows clubs to offer more flexibility with the fees they offer to players. As I said, I'll touch on fee variance in a little more detail later on. And also in the training video, which we play at the very end, we'll demonstrate how you can set this up for your club at the end of the session. So we'll move on, and we will now delve into how you can make the most of PlayHQ for your upcoming 2023 season. As we know, PlayHQ is a tool which can be used to manage many of your club's activities, such as player registrations, club merchandise, and reconciliation of your accounts. When using PlayHQ to manage your player registrations, we recommend that you set up your registration form to collect any player payments at the time of registration. We hear time and time again from clubs who set this up in 2022, how much time it saves them when they collect all their registration fees up front. And I know that many of you here on the line tonight would be very happy if you didn't have to chase players once the season had started to collect their registration fee. There are a range of different ways you can take flexible payments via PlayHQ, which I will go into in a little bit more detail a little bit later. When you take payments via PlayHQ, the funds will be distributed directly into your club's nominated bank account within 48 to 72 hours, minus the small transaction fee of 1.8%. You can also use the financial reports in PlayHQ to help reconcile all of your accounts, as the reports will show you exactly who has registered and how much each individual has paid. As you can see, PlayHQ can be used to streamline your club's activities and help save time. But rather than listen to me, I'm going to jump into the first video of the night, and we'll hear from the Tatura Football Netball Club about how they used PlayHQ in 2022. Just bear with me, everyone, because I do need to stop sharing and share again.
Hi, my name's Abby and I'm the treasurer at the Tatura Football Netball Club. So Tatura is located in northeast Victoria. It's got a population of about 6,000 people, so it's not a huge town, but it's definitely a community feel. Football and netball is a big part of that. On a Saturday, it's pretty quiet down the street because everyone's here. Over the past 5 years of being treasurer, a lot of things have definitely changed. Obviously with the impact of COVID, we're finally moving to a little bit less cash, which is good for me. It means a lot less work for me. When I first came on, I'm pretty sure we just used to keep track of it all in spreadsheets. So we first trialled just invoicing players, which was still a pain because I had to ask the football manager, you know, who was playing, and they would kind of just be like, well, these people have been showing up to training and these are their email addresses, and we'd try and invoice them. And that also meant that I'd have to follow it up if they weren't paid by the time that the season started. So that was really painful, and also, you know, making sure that they had the right email addresses and everything. So now it's a lot easier because all we do is say, well, if you want to come play, here's the registration link, and they register and they pay, and it's all done and they're ready to take the ground. We have variants set up in PlayHQ so that we can charge the different age groups different prices. You know, the under 9s don't cost as much as the under 15s, so we've got variants in place that pick up the player's age, so it charges them the right amount. And then same in our senior club, we have under 16s and under 18s that are a different price to our senior players as well. Within the merchandise section of PlayHQ, it also enabled us to set up premium memberships for our senior players, which meant that they could upgrade from their standard membership to a premium one, which offered them extra perks and prepaid tickets to events and things like that. Doing all that through PlayHQ, taking the payments, it saves me so much time and so much running around. And it's also good that all that record, all that bookkeeping is all just pretty much done for me, and it just appears in the bank account, so it's a lot easier. It's not only myself that uses PlayHQ as a treasurer, all of our football team managers uses it to manage everything. They use it every week for entering the teams and managing the teams and checking player eligibility and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely not just something that we use here in the back office end, I guess. They definitely use it all on game day as well. I'm really proud to be a part of the Tatura Bulldogs and to be their treasurer. It's a job that I put a lot of passion into, purely because I love the club and I love the town. And PlayHQ has only made my job easier, and it continues to do so as it improves, as it moves along.
Sorry, everyone. Again, bear with me as I get my right screen back up. Awesome. Okay, so to help clubs get started again for your next season, just in case you have all forgotten what you need to do, the AFL have created a really helpful checklist. So after tonight's session, we will make sure we email this checklist out to you all so that you don't forget the steps you need to take in order to get ready. Included in this checklist are steps such as updating any contact information or any administrators who may have changed at your club in the off-season, and also just checking your notification settings so you don't miss any incoming or outgoing transfers. The checklist also has links off to support articles and videos that you can watch in your own time, just to save a little bit of time tonight so that we can get you out of here as quick as possible. Okay, so before you can take any payments via your registration form in PlayHQ, clubs must first submit their bank details to activate their payment gateway via Stripe. This is a really quick process, which will only take 5 minutes. If you have already submitted your bank details last season, there's no need for you to complete this step again. But if you haven't yet connected your Stripe account, we will send out a video on how you can do this in order to get set up for next season. For any clubs on the line who are thinking, I think I submitted my bank details, but I can't quite remember which bank details we submitted, or you need to change your bank details for the upcoming season, you can contact AFL Club Help and they will be able to assist you with this process. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and as we just heard from Tatura, there are many benefits to taking registration fees online via PlayHQ. This year, we've made it even easier with the introduction of fee variants, but we've already got a heap of existing suites of features which allow clubs to set up flexible payments. As we know, it's not always possible for players to make the full payment at the time of registration, so the below options allow you as a club to offer those flexible payment options for them. Fee variants, which I have mentioned quite a few times now, and it will be demonstrated in the video very soon, but it allows clubs to set up multiple fee categories. So for example, a club who may be wanting to offer players the option to pay via a payment plan or installments, you could use fee variants. You could set up one variant as the deposit and the other as the full fee. This ensures all players are able to register and pay online no matter their financial situation. If a player does select to pay the deposit at the checkout, the remainder of the payment would need to be managed by the club via an offline method. But it just eliminates the need to, I guess, chase all these installments offline. You could collect at least that deposit at the time that they register. Together with the PlayHQ reports, fee variance allows clubs to get an accurate picture of registrations and oversee everyone's payment status. Advanced fees is another option for clubs to offer these flexible payments. This allows clubs to offer players a different registration fee based on their age and gender. PlayHQ then automatically calculates a player's age and gender at the time that they register and charges them the appropriate fee. This was available to clubs in 2022, and as we just heard from Tatura, and many clubs also did this, they use this feature to charge different fees to both their junior and their senior players. The last thing I'll mention here is vouchers, and vouchers are a really great way to discount a particular individual or even a group of players that you need to give a discount to. These discount vouchers can be set up by clubs for a dollar amount, and the code is then shared with the players, and they use that code at checkout to receive the discount. I'll show you how you can set up a voucher very shortly as well in the video. The last thing I wanted to mention before we jump into the video for tonight is selling your club's merchandise through PlayHQ. So this is an option for all clubs in 2023, as it was in 2022. And we saw many clubs use the merchandise function very well in PlayHQ. We saw them sell their team jumpers, shorts, socks, and even club memberships, which is similar to what Tatura did. And as I said, they did this really well in 2022, and it worked really well for them. It's really easy to set up your merchandise products in PlayHQ, and then you can offer these to participants at the time that they register. You can then use the PlayHQ reports to manage the merchandise sales and reconcile any of those merchandise transactions. I think that's enough talking from me, and we will jump into the demonstration for tonight. As I mentioned, it is a pre-recorded video. I would love to say that you don't have to listen to my voice anymore, but it is me talking in the video as well. Just remind everyone, if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat as we go along. And because it's a pre-recorded video, I can help answer the questions in the chat rather than me talking and not being able to answer questions at the same time. First thing we want to do before we set up our registration form for 2023 is create any merchandise products we are looking to sell as a part of that registration process. As mentioned a little earlier, a couple of examples of some things that your club might look to sell as a part of the registration process. You've got uniform items such as jumpers, shorts, and socks, or you could have club add-ons such as a club membership or a sponsorship. In order to set up your merchandise products, head to Merchandise from the main menu on the left-hand side here and down to Products. From here, we select Add Product. Within this page, we now go through and we enter all our product information. So I'm going to set up our team uniform. So I'm going to set up jumper and shorts. I can then add in a description of my jumper and shorts, and I'm just going to say that all players need to purchase the jumper and shorts in order to play. You can then use the toggle here in order to make the product active or inactive. Just as a note, if you toggle across to inactive, you will not be able to add your product into your registration form. You then also have the option to upload an image of your product. So I've just got a picture here of my uniform, so all players can see what the uniform looks like and what they are purchasing. Down a little bit further here, if you have different variations of your product, such as size and color, you can toggle across to variations and add those in here. I have different sizes of my team uniform, so I'm going to add those sizes in here. All I need to do is separate the options here by a comma. So my small, medium and large uniforms now appear a little bit further down the list here, and as you can see, I can enter the price for each of my team uniforms. I'm going to charge everyone $100 for the club uniform, which includes that jumper and shorts. You can also use the boxes on the right hand side here to determine which of these sizes are available or are not available, and you can come in at any time and make any changes to this. For example, if you sell out of your small uniform, you can come in, you can update that product so that it's no longer available for purchase as a part of the registration process. From here, I then can select the fulfillment method, so I can select whether the product will be available for pickup or whether we are going to deliver it out to everybody. I'm going to leave the fulfillment method as pickup, as all my players are going to pick up their uniforms when they come to training. Last thing we need to do is add in any custom fields to our product. I'm just going to ask what day are the players going to be available to pick up their uniform. I then have the option to give them a text box to give me the date, but I want to only provide them two options. They can either pick up their uniform on March the 2nd, which is one of our training sessions, or March the 9th, which is a little bit closer to our season start date. I then also just need to ensure that this custom field is visible so that participants have the option to answer this question when they are going through the checkout process. From here, create custom field. Then once I'm happy with my product, I can hit save up in the top right-hand corner. As you can see, my product has now been created and it is ready to be added into our registration form, which I'll show you how you can set that up now. We can get started on setting up our registration form for 2023. In order to do this, we need to navigate to competitions from the menu on the left-hand side. And then you can see here that the North-South Football League have invited me in to the 2023 season. From here, I select View to open up the 2023 season. To view our registration, we can select Registration from the menu along the top here. All clubs, when you log in and open up your 2023 season, you will see the same as what is visible here. You will see a registration form. So the AFL have done a great job and gone in and set up shell registration forms for all clubs for 2023. So all you'll need to do is go in and adjust the dates if you want to and add in your fees and any merchandise products. Before I show you how to do that, there are a few extra questions that I want to ask everybody when they register to my club for 2023. The Premiers Football Club is very short on volunteers for the upcoming season, which I'm sure you can all relate to on the line here tonight. So all I need to do is navigate across to custom fields in order to add in some additional information. To add in a new custom field, I select new. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a field, would you like to volunteer for a role in 2023? From here, I can select whether the question is mandatory or not for everybody to answer. I'm really short on volunteers, so I want everybody to have to answer this question when they register. I can then select whether I provide them with a text box to answer the question or a drop-down list. I'm going to say drop-down list and I'm going to give them two options, yes or no. I then also just need to select which roles I want this question to be presented to upon registration. So I want all players, team managers and volunteers when they register to answer this question. I then just need to make sure that the registration form boxes here are ticked and then I can select create. I also have the option to link another custom field to the question that I have already asked. So further to the question, would you like to volunteer for a role in 2023? I also then want to ask the people who have answered yes, which role that they would be interested in. So in order to do this, I select new, and I'm going to add in another question, which role would you be interested in? Again, I want this question to be mandatory, and I'm going to provide another drop-down list, and I'm going to say coach, team manager, or an umpire. In order to link this question to the other custom field in which we already created, I can toggle here, conditional field. I then just want to select that I want to link it to, would you like to volunteer for a role in 2023? And then I want this question to be presented to every single person who answers yes to that question. I then select create up in the top right-hand corner. The custom fields have now been created, so every single person that registers to my club for 2023 will be asked the question, would you like to volunteer? And then everyone that answers yes will then be asked a follow-up question, which role would you be interested in? Now that we've set up our custom fields, we can move across and we can set up our registration form. To set up your registration form, navigate across to forms. And as I mentioned a little earlier, the AFL has gone in and set up shells for all clubs. So all we need to do is hit manage and go in and enter the details specific to our club. Up the top here, we can enter the dates in which we want our registration form to be active. So the date will be set at the 1st of November because that's the date that registrations open around the country for football. And then you can go in and change the end date. From here, You can see any age limits which have been set by your league, as well as any registration fees that have been passed down from your league. They will be passed on to the player and they will pay that at the time that they register. Moving on to your club fees. This is where you enter your club fees for registration. I'm going to put my fees in here. The fees for this year, $250 per player. You also then have the option here to use this toggle advanced registration fees. If I toggle this on, I then get to choose between age and gender and fee variance, which is the new feature that we spoke about a little bit earlier. Age and gender, I can enter down the bottom here and can put in different prices based on player's age and gender. PlayHQ will automatically calculate at the time that the player registers which of these categories they fall into, and they will be charged the rate based on your fees that you set here. If I navigate across to variance, this is where I can enter in my own categories. So for example, I could put in installments in here. There are a heap of different ways that you can make it flexible for your players to pay their fees for the upcoming season. As an example, I'm going to put in a student fee, a junior fee, and a senior fee. I can then just adjust the amounts for the different options. When you use the fee variance section of your registration form, players then have the option to choose which registration fee they would like to pay at the time that they are registering. It will be a drop-down box and they select the fee that they would like to pay. Moving down a little bit further, we have our custom fields, which we set up a little bit earlier. And then we can add in our merchandise products, which we created a little earlier as well. So from here, I'm going to select my jumper and shorts. And then I can select which roles I want the jumper and shorts to be available to upon registration. I don't need my team managers and my volunteers to be buying the team uniform. I need my players to, and I want to make it mandatory. So that means anyone registering is unable to register unless they add the jumper and shorts to their cart. Can then add in any additional information and some pricing information. This information will all be available to players when they are going through the registration form. So I'm just going to add in here that all fees must be paid upon registration. If you wanted to, you could add in different information here about the different fee variant categories that you have set up. The last thing I need to do is I can just add in my terms and conditions to my registration form if your club has terms and conditions. And then I also just want to make sure that I toggle visible so that my registration form is visible on the PlayHQ public site. Once I'm happy, I hit save in the top right-hand corner. And then as you can see here, my registration form is visible. And here is the registration link, which I can post on my social media. I can send out to my players from last season. And from the 1st of November, all players will be able to register for your upcoming 2023 season. That's how easy it is to set up your registration form for 2023. Now it's time to sit back and wait for your players to start registering come the 1st of November. Vouchers can be used in PlayHQ to offer players a discount at the time that they register. They're really easy to set up, and I'll jump in and show you how you can do that now. You need to select My Organisation from the menu on the left-hand side, Overview, and across to Vouchers. From here, all you need to do is select Create a Voucher. You can now enter all the information of your voucher. Tonight, as an example, I'm going to set up an early bird discount voucher for the value of $50. I'm going to provide this code out to all of my players registering to my club, and those that are registering early can use this code in order to receive the $50 discount. The last two things I need to do is I just need to select the amount of times that this voucher can be used. So as an example tonight, I'm just going to enter in 10, and then I need to ensure I toggle across to activate this voucher. Once I'm happy with my voucher, create up in the top right-hand corner. As you can see here, it has now generated a voucher code. This is the code that I need to provide to my players so that they can use this code at checkout. There's a section at checkout when players are registering for codes. They just need to enter the voucher code in order to receive the $50 discount. You can also keep an eye on here the amount of times that this voucher has been used. If I need to at any given time, I can go in and edit the voucher and increase or decrease the amount of times that I want this voucher to be used. Once my early bird period is over, I can come in and edit and make this voucher inactive so that it can no longer be used at checkout. I can also keep an eye on how many times a voucher has been used in the transaction report. Within the transaction report, you'll be able to see exactly who has used the early bird discount voucher. And that is as easy as it is to set up a discount voucher within PlayHQ. Okay, everyone, we are nearly there. I appreciate it's gone a couple of minutes over, but I promise we are at the end almost. Okay, just wanted to provide a really quick recap before we finish up tonight. So all clubs can go in and you can start setting up your registration forms whenever you are ready. Once your registration form is set up for 2023, players, team managers, volunteers can all start to register to your club. And just as a reminder, all three of those roles register using that same registration link, which we just saw. Just wanted to point out, just as a note to remember for everyone, the transfer window does not open until the 1st of February. So this means all players looking to transfer to your club or transfer out of your club will not be able to register until the 1st of Feb. Everyone else who doesn't require a transfer is able to register as soon as your form is set up, but anyone wanting a transfer will need to wait until February. The last thing I wanted to note, and there's been some really good questions coming through in the chat around features and what PlayHQ plans to do next. I just wanted to point out that we will continue to enhance and release new features in the lead up to the season starting and also once your season started as well. We really want to continue to improve your experience as administrators of community football. So keep your eyes peeled for more features, and please also continue to provide any feedback that you've got through to your leagues, and they will pass that on to the AFL and also to us. Now, I have already answered a few questions, and they've all been really great questions, everyone. So thank you for sending them through. If you have any other questions, please feel free to continue to pop them into the chat. I will hang around for a little bit once the session is finished and answer any extra questions that anybody might have. To finish up, if you need any extra support after tonight's session or you have any other unanswered questions, please always feel free to contact the AFL Club Help on the below details here. You can email them or you can give them a call. The team at AFL Club Help are fantastic. They're really quick at getting responses to people and they have a wealth of knowledge in there, so they will be able to assist you with anything that you need. You can also find a host of additional resources on the below websites, so on that AFL Club Help website or on the PlayHQ support site. And if you need to, you can also book into any additional training webinars and you can attend those whenever suits you as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for jumping in tonight. We really appreciate it. Good luck for your 2023 season and enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks so much, everyone.